Child soldiers. Child soldiers first originated during 500 and 300 BC in ancient Greece, more specifically in Sparta. In times filled with constant conflicts exemplifying the nation's strength, it was only a matter of time before the ideal of raising soldiers came to exist. And, if you were a boy, this only meant one thing: learning to make war. The Spartan boys were exposed to rigorous academics and brutal military training in order to mold an undefeatable warrior. But it did not stop here. Soon children became judged from birth, and those who the elders deemed weak were inevitably thrown off of a cliff. In turn, while assuming an aggressive nature towards their adversaries, the Spartans quickly expanded their reign. Believing their newfound warriors might become too pampered, the Spartans forced them to endure harsh living conditions, possessing only one garment and traversing land without any shoes. They were trained to live and think like animals. The boys were eventually given combat and non-combat roles, such as waiting on officers, guarding army camps, and performing as musicians. The instruments they played, including the fife and also the snare drum, were used as a form of military communication. Boys playing during battle considered the role to be an introduction into manhood and a way for them to represent their forced patriotism. Another aspect of child soldiers which often goes unacknowledged is the psychology behind them. Many children who become soldiers at a significantly young age often experience complex trauma and guilt, which act as factors leading to their damaged psyche. These children can be seen as both the victims and the perpetrators of their crimes, which furthers the aspects of guilt present. After children have served their time as a soldier, if they are lucky enough to still be alive, they still typically suffer from PTSD, which is most common in child soldiers, and major depression disorder. However, these children are emotionally harmed regardless, as it changes their personalities. The children saw firsthand murder, torture, and shooting, which then could have caused any number of psychological ailments. Today, luckily, there exists help for these child soldiers to recover from any of the such-named traumas through different organizations, like Invisible Child and Child Soldiers International. Besides the psychology, morality is also a crucial factor regarding the transformation of children into soldiers. Children are forced into the role of killers by adults. Oftentimes, the only escape these children can obtain is through life-altering injuries, deep psychological trauma, or death. The children that enlist into the military are usually those who have little to no education, low socioeconomic status, or have disintegrated families such as divorced or abusive parents. The more stability a child is in need of, the more susceptible they are into being coerced into serving in military institutions. Countries that suffer famine during times of war leave children at most risk. Military organizations will lure children into fighting in exchange for food. These adults are exploiting a child's need for basic necessities. Given that these children are forced into doing inhumane tasks, we ask if a child's morale should be questioned or not. The fact that they are forced to commit these acts, should there not be those who will rise up to stop it, to join hands with the future and make a better life for all involved?